Hey everyone, welcome to our show here, Wire to Wire, where we give you the best sports betting picks here from start to finish. I'm your host, Mindy Hahne from the Tool Ladies That Bet Network. I'm a professional handicapper and, of course, one of the data analysts for EPA Sports. And so today I am super excited to bring you the numbers. But before we get started, make sure you go ahead and download the WagerWire app and use the referral code Mindy, M-I-N-D-Y, in there when you sign up. WagerWire is the all-you-need hub for all of your sports betting needs to show your entire portfolio, to keep track of everything. And with this app, you can go ahead and sign up for books. You can sync your sports books. You can check your ROI. And, of course, you can go ahead and see what your friends are betting on. You can even check out my bets. And so it's a pretty fun tool. You can also go ahead and join WagerWire's affiliate program. That's something that's pretty cool, where you yourself can make a little bit of cash extra here on the side. Just go ahead and DM WagerWire on Twitter, and they can go ahead and get you signed up. So here we go. We can kind of go ahead and start talking about some picks. How about a recap from yesterday, right? So we did pretty well. 4-2 on the day. I'll take that every day of the week. We had the Mariners there on the money line. Of course, it was a 1-0 game, so didn't quite get the over as I expected. Those bullpens really played their part and finally got the deal done there. Then we had, of course, had the Sparks and the Liberty. We had that game over, huge over. Everything went over. Team totals went over. Halftime went over. All of that kind of good stuff. Oh, yeah, I did give you that halftime bet over as well. And of course, the Sparks covered. They did cover that big number, even though they didn't get the win versus the Liberty. And then, of course, it was the big game of the night. Is everyone drinking the blue Kool-Aid right now? The Lions did get it done on, 9 drop passes by those KC Chiefs receivers. It was kind of painful to watch at times, but not necessarily worried about the Chiefs moving forward. But we did have the under in that game, played out as expected. Like we had said, at Arrowhead, not Arrowhead, they don't call it that anymore, GEHA Field. Basically the overall total scoring is not usually over 45 points a game at Arrowhead. I think I can still call it Arrowhead, right? Anyway, let's get some to sports here for today. So much for me stammering all around, right? All right, we're going to go ahead and start off here with some Friday night college football. I mean, why not? Who does not want to be in on a game that has Illinois and Kansas in it, right? But yeah, it should be a good one for Friday night. It's one of those that you tend to have kind of a little bit of a light, schedule for Major League Baseball. And of course, we're gearing up for more football here coming this Sunday. There is a big slate of WNBA, and we'll cover that here in a little bit. But for this one here, early in the season, again, I work for EPA Sports. And with that, we do a lot of modeling. We have 14 years of modeling that we use. And early on, we kind of take a look at who has the better coaching, who has the better talent. And then, of course, we do a lot of our information just based solely on the numbers, on the line, right? So we know there's a lot of, really smart guys there in Vegas that are setting the lines. And then we know there's a lot of, more really smart guys out there called the sharps that are going to get the edge on that line. So our job at EPA Sports is saying, hey, what is the behavior? What do teams do with these line movements, right? So that's what we're going to take a look at here with Illinois and Kansas. Illinois, we know last year they had a great defense, right? We're fourth in the nation. Kansas, we knew, had that really, really sharp offense. So how is this going to play out again this season, right? Opening line on this was 55.5 for the opening total. It's now sitting at 56.5. So now when we have a line movement open at 55.5 and it's moving upwards, right? We're going to be on that with the sharps. So our lean is going to be over in this game. In that 3-week window, meaning at the start of the game, historically over the last 14 years, that over on a higher, total, it hits at 61% of the time. So that's going to be our first play today. We're going to go ahead and take over 56.5 in Kansas and Illinois. And if we want to go ahead and take a look, I'll give you a couple plays on usually each of my games. So you can kind of decide what you think fits with your modeling, because only you are the one that gets to press that enter button for that wager that you make here every day. But basically, it's one of those that when we have a -4 on the spread, like with Kansas, and now it's moved to a -3, this has historically been a road cover. So we're going to go ahead and take Illinois plus the 3 points. It's sitting at about a 59% win percentage when we have that sort of line movement. And then as we go, right, once we get results, once we get data over the next 3 or 4 weeks, then we can kind of start to produce those EPA numbers, right? The expected points added, right? So we're going to take a look at offensive and defensive efficiencies as well as pace of play. So we're going to try to methodically come up with a final score. And we know that we hit pretty well on those also. And again, I talk about EPA Sports. I put it up there on the screen. You can go to patreon.com, EPA Sports, and you can get all of our data. We usually charge about $1, per day for our posts because we want to make sure we give out good information to the novice and the pro bettor. We want to make it fair for everyone to win a lot of money here, sports betting. But all of that information right now for college football, pro football, those are free for you to take a look at here this week and see if it's something that you like, that information. We do post, once a week there for college football, pro football, and then daily for Major League Baseball, WNBA. And then if we move forward, we're going to go, you'll get daily information for NBA, NCAA, college basketball, and then, of course, the NHL. So we can predict all of that information. So it's good stuff. I think you'll like it. That's kind of how I got started with them, is that I had this modeling, and then I found this other modeling out there. And when I compared those, man, it put me on like 3 times more winners, or maybe took me off losses, right? So that's what we're here to do, is we're here to give you due diligence information so you can be a responsible sports bettor out there. All right, so that is our play here. We're going to take a look at Illinois on the road, getting 3 and the over. So that's it for college football here today. All right, next up, how about we go ahead and go back into MLB, right? We had a good day yesterday with the Mariners. Like I said, they got the 1-0. We're going to kind of take a look at some, I think it's going to be basically a little bit of maybe the Padres have a chance to get into the wild card. It's very, very slim. And right now you have an Astros team that, of course, is leading that division. I believe it's by about 2 games. So it's one of those that they really need to stay in the hunt. And I think this Padres team overall has been a little sketchy this year, right? It's either they, lose, or they win by a ton of runs. Like, there really isn't a whole lot of in between. Like, it's rare that they kind of pull out those 1-run victories. But it's one of those today that the Astros here have Hunter Brown on the mound. I lost my place. There it is. I found it. So Hunter Brown, though, he has kind of an elevated ERA, especially on his splits. At home, he hasn't been very good. 4.53 ERA. But Blake Snell, I don't know. Maybe he's like a CY Young candidate. I don't know. He's been doing pretty well this year. He's 12-9, 2.50. Whoa, that was crazy. He tends to get a little bit of run support. So that's another thing that I think we really have to look at. I like Padres in this one to get it done here against Hunter Brown. I feel like he's probably their weakest link in that rotation. Now, probably one of those, and he might go to the bullpen here later on in the season. We will see. But I think today is a good day to take the Padres here on the money line, getting a little bit of plus money at plus 120. There we go. Taking the Padres. All right. How about another one? Should we go to the Storm and the Wings, WNBA? Again, the totals, our EPA hot sheet yesterday went 7-0 on that game. So we do make 7 plays or 7 bets per game in each of these. So some days we have up to 35 bets on the WNBA. And what we take a look at is team totals for the first half, the half over, or usually it's an over, right? We also take a look at team totals for the full game for each. And then, of course, the spread and the total on the full game. 7-0 victory for EPA Sports yesterday versus the books. So always happy about that. But today we're coming in with the Storm and the Wings. And we know the Storm is in pretty much, last place. Crazy with, they lost, Stewart and then Super to retirement. They still have Jewel Lloyd, but has had trouble just kind of keeping things in place this season. They are a team that plays a little bit better on the road, so that's good. And they're running up against a Wings team that's been, I don't know, rather not dynamic over the last couple weeks here. If I take a look at just some of these spread records, they're awful, right? Storm 1-3-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games. Storm 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. The Wings 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 home games. I mean, it's just really, really bad. So we're not going to really be taking a look here at a spread today, but we will definitely be taking a look at the total over again. The over is 5-2 in the Storm's last 7 overall. And the over is 16-5 in the Wings' last 21 overall here as well. The Storm, I think, should be able to keep it close, right? They really don't lose by more than 10 points very often. And I think the Wings are, good for obvious reasons. I just think that this one here is going to be lights out. Lots of points here today in this one. All right. How about we go ahead and take a look at an early game for tomorrow's football slate? We'll take a look at America's team, right? We're going to take a look at Notre Dame here versus NC State. I think this should be a good one. I mean, everyone's all excited about Notre Dame and Sam Hartman coming over for the Fighting Irish. It should be a good one. But yeah, we're going to take a look at this here again, kind of based off of the number, because we don't really have a whole lot of stats. We know early on, teams are not going to be matched parity wise very well, right? Because you're going to have these huge talent gaps, right? But this one here, we're going to take a look at the spread. On this one here, when you have an opening at -7.5 here for Notre Dame, and then this number here is still sitting at -7.5, we have a cover by the home team normally at a 69% win percentage. So a home cover in this one, we're going to go ahead and expect NC State to get some scoring done in this one. We will take them plus 7.5 here. Again, I feel like this might not be a case where Notre Dame just totally goes in and blows a team out. I think they may have a little bit more of an adjustment period versus an NC State team. All right, so those are the plays here today. Hopefully you guys come back and watch the show. We're going to do this one daily, so I'll give you some free picks. You can take a look at things. Make sure you get signed up for the WagerWire app. And of course, take a look at all of our data that we put out at patreon.com, EPA Sports. Tomorrow we'll be back with more college football. Then, of course, Sunday, we might do some pro football here tomorrow as well. Get some of those early games in just to make sure the video comes out. And then Sunday, probably do more of the late slate of games there. No buys, for a while. I think until week 4 in the NFL. And then we can go ahead and, then it thins out a little bit. But right now we got plenty of action in that late slate. I hope you guys have a good day. And of course, you can always, tweet at me. I'm at the Two Old Ladies That Bet. You can go ahead and take a look at that. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit. Two Old Ladies That Won. All right, you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.